I've been a fee-only financial advisor for over 2 decades. And here's 10 things that I noticed that a lot of happy retirees do, and a lot of them cost zero. Let's go for a walk and talk about it. Okay, this first one doesn't cost zero, but I think it's super important. And that is, don't be afraid to treat yourself. You've worked hard your whole life, you've made sacrifices, you've made good decisions, which is why you're able to retire. And don't be afraid to treat yourself. If there's something that you've always wanted to do, if there's a cruise that you want to go on, if you want to, go out to dinner and have fun with your friends, whatever that is, right? There's kind of the expensive route, the medium route, and then the lower route to do things. Cruises are a great example, right? You can do cruises, very inexpensive, actually. They can be one of your less expensive vacations, and I just use that as an example to treat yourself. You can spend a ton of money on a cruise, or you can do it very affordably, right? So whatever your budget is, don't be afraid to treat yourself. You've worked hard, and I would say, I don't know your situation, but you likely deserve it, and so go ahead and treat yourself. Okay, the next one is happiness in retirement is largely going to be driven by your energy level and your health. So I would say pursue things that give you energy and help you stay healthy. At our age, I'm going to be 59 here pretty soon. Health is one of the most important things we can do. And yes, it might take a little bit of money, and yes, it might take a little bit of time, but a gym membership, $30, $40, $50 a month. Could you work out at home? Yeah, probably. But if you like the community aspects of going to the gym, I think there's a lot to be said for doing that. And I think it's one of the best places that you can invest in. I've seen people that keep after their health. I have many clients that are in their late 70s, early 80s, and boy, the ones that have been fortunate and have not had things out of their control, heart attack, stroke, cancer diagnosis, the ones that have done what they can to stay as healthy as they can. They try to eat well. It doesn't mean that they're vegan. I happen to be vegan, so if you're vegan, don't take that as an insult. But that lifestyle is not for everybody, and I'm vegan for health reasons. But just do what you can, right? If you enjoy running, keep running. Maybe you're not running 40 miles a week anymore. Maybe you're running 10 or 5. But just do what you can to stay healthy. And, I would argue if you're doing things that give you energy, keep doing those things. Working out. For me, one is caffeine. Probably 6 months of the year, I'm caffeine free. And it's always difficult to kick the caffeine habit. But there's times of the year that I really enjoy a cup of coffee and the energy that it gives me in the morning. So, as you get older, don't let that cup of coffee, don't let your doctor make you feel guilty about it. I think there's a lot to be said for pursuing energy, right? A lot of time, seniors feel lethargic a lot of the time. And I think there's several causes of that are outside of the scope of this video. But in general, pursue things that help you keep your energy, and actually working out and staying healthy is one of those, as is a nice strong cup of coffee in the morning. Okay, number 4, stay curious. I love learning. Sorry, I just want to check on the traffic. I'm at this nice park this beautiful morning. The next thing is stay curious. For me, I love learning. Some of the happiest retirees I know would say that they're lifelong learners. So stay curious, whatever that might be. It might be a craft, it might be a hobby, it might be a small business, right? You're retired, you're not doing it for the money, but you're doing it because you're curious and you enjoy it and you're having fun doing it. But whatever it is, just stay curious. It kind of gives you the spark of life, and frankly, makes me a more interesting person, and I think that's true for a lot of people. Okay. The next one is, if you haven't retired yet, prepare for retirement. And most people think of that as a financial plan, and the financial plan is really, really important, but so is your passion and your purpose plan. What is going to be your next passion? What's going to be your next purpose? And thinking about that ahead of time Or if you're in retirement, if you didn't do that ahead of time, so be it. You still have time to create that. So think about what your purpose is in retirement and your passion and what's going to make you excited to wake up in the morning and do what you do. Okay, the next one is be organized. Boy, when you can't find stuff in your life, that can be frustrating. Particularly the older I get, the more I know it's important for me to leave my car keys the same place every time. So be organized with your money, be organized with your time, and think about the 80-20 rule. You know, how do you want to spend your money? How do you want to spend your time? And get your legal affairs in order. Hopefully you've got another 20, 30 years of healthy time in front of you. But, you know, most of us should have a will. I would say all of us should have a will. If you don't have a will, your state has one for you. It's called dying intestate. And there's probably a bunch of stuff in that, the default state will that you don't want to have. Plus, it's going to lead to arguments down the road, potentially with whoever ends up inheriting that money and who ends up not inheriting those assets. So take the time. It doesn't have to be super expensive. You should also have, I'm not an attorney, so this is not legal advice. I also don't know your particular situation, so this is not financial advice. But I think you should have a medical power of healthcare power of attorney. So if something happens to you, somebody that you've chosen gets to make those healthcare decisions for you. You should have a will, and then for a lot of people, having trust set up. They can be tax efficient, and they can just make things pass more smoothly. And these legal documents don't have to be expensive. A lot of attorneys will do it for a flat rate now. I encourage you to reach out to an attorney and do that work. And if you don't know a good attorney, you know, one good place to start is work with a fee-only financial advisor. Have them help you with some of these other aspects, and they can give you a referral to a good attorney that they've worked with. Again, a fee-only financial advisor, just like an attorney, is going to have a fiduciary obligation to you 100% of the time. So, you know, I think the recommendations from a fee-only financial advisor as to attorneys and accountants are often going to be some of the best in your town. Okay, the next one, and the next one's super important. Before I jump in there, we're coming up on number 7 here. Before I jump in, if you're enjoying this video, give me a thumbs up. As the kids say, thumbs for likes, subs for love, and if you're enjoying the video, leave me a comment. I love reading your comments. Okay, the next one is be free, and be free with your time, but also with your stuff. You know, for a lot of us, our stuff can end up owning us. You know, the question is, do you own your stuff, or does your stuff own you? And I'd hate to see your stuff own you. The older I get, I find the less I want to own. Frankly, I just don't want the responsibilities, and then you've got to store it, and there's some upkeep. The things that I love, like I love mountain biking, so I have a nice mountain bike, and I don't want to give that up. But probably at least 3/4 of the stuff that I thought I wanted in my 30s and 40s, I find myself not wanting as I approach 60. Okay, number 8. Let's see here. Keep up with, sorry, I'm just looking at my cheat sheet here. Number 8 is keep up with communications technology. You know, it's hard to keep up with technology. Do you need to keep up with the latest AI trends? You don't, but I think there's probably some things that you do on a daily basis that you might benefit from AI. For instance, I like to write. There's some great AI tools to help me with that. But when it comes to communications, I think it's super important that you keep up with technology. My parents, who are 30 years older than me, my mom is still with me. Thank goodness. My father passed away a few years ago. You know, they made the decision not to learn email back in the early 90s. And that was a big mistake for them. And for many years, it kind of isolated them. And then fortunately for them, they jumped on with smartphones. I was able to convince them to keep up with technology with smartphones. They both had smartphones. They were able to FaceTime with my daughters, their granddaughters. And it brought them back into the circle where it was easy to keep them in the loop with our life. So I've seen that firsthand. I know it can be isolating. That's not what you want in retirement. So at least with communications technology, keep up with it. I know there's all these different tools, but the basics right now are just a smartphone and texting. You've got that, but who knows what the next generation is going to be. Okay, number 9, and this kind of follows number 1, which was treat yourself. Outsource things that you don't like doing. Life is just too short at this point, and if you don't enjoy mowing the lawn, if you don't enjoy snow blowing the drive, if you live somewhere where there's snow, if you don't enjoy cleaning the house, these are all things that are super easy to outsource. They tend to be affordable. If you can afford it, great. I really encourage you to outsource that. And also outsource things you don't have expertise in, but are important to get right. I mentioned earlier an attorney. An estate plan doesn't have to be super expensive. I think that's money very, very well spent. Your taxes, if they're complicated, if they cause stress for you and your family. The older I get, unfortunately, the more complicated my taxes get. And my wife was doing our taxes for the first 15 years of our marriage. I've been married 30 years plus now. And it was just a stressful time for us when we were doing our taxes. And so I said, you know what? Let's invest. Let's have an accountant do it for us. And every April, we're super grateful that we've done that. So outsource it. I also think, financial advising there's a lot of online tools out there that can do the calculations for you, but it's not the calculations that make a difference in your life. It's the wisdom, hopefully, that somebody's bringing to the table that's worked with hundreds of families that can say, here's the numbers, here's what they mean to you, and let's work together to find the best answer for you. So outsource. Okay. And the biggest one of all, I think, and the thing that I've really noticed brings a lot of joy to people, is commit yourself to doing service, to giving back in whatever way that means for you. Multiple studies have shown that some of the happiest retirees are those that have a spirit of giving, a spirit of service, and a spirit of giving back. And in that spirit of gratitude, I'm grateful for you watching today. If you enjoyed today's video, I know you're going to enjoy this video up here where I talk about average income in retirement, and this video down here where I talk about 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.